Hey, on this episode of Transparency Agenda, I'm going to talk about how you can still be a really crappy writer and still be successful.
LPJ Design presents.
Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. I'm shooting this one laying in my bed because I'm lazy and I don't feel like getting up and doing anything. But, sometimes you gotta do the job you're supposed to do. So I'm shooting this video and I want to talk about, this is kind of the one that's going to surprise you. I'm going to talk about one of my biggest weaknesses and how I turn it into a success for me. This is for business one. This is for those guys who are really interested in understanding the business of RPGs and even the business of comic books. This one is kind of interesting. Who's calling me? Oh, God. Oh, not in a bad way. Just someone's calling me in the middle of shooting a video. So I'm pick it up and. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, can I call you back?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm shooting a video right now, so I'm catching you live calling me on my video.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're saying. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. That was my personal nurse calling me, so she's got to make sure I'm okay. So a lot of people in this industry, I think, are amazing writers. And let me tell you something. Let me just tell you, this is about me. This is 100% about me. This is the way I've always felt. I am a horrible writer. I mean, I am awful. It is obscene how bad of a writer I am. I mean, my grammar skills are horrible, and they just suck. I misspell that one constantly. I misspell tons of words. I use the wrong context and all this stuff. And, but here's the funny part. Here's the part that's going to blow your mind. You already know this about me. You know these things about me. I gotta stop moving this thing around. I'm shooting this with my new tablet, so that's why I'm moving it around. So just getting used to it in my hand. A lot of you already know. It's like, dude, my grammar skills are just bad. But here's something a lot of people don't know or don't realize. I am in the top 5% of RPG companies on RPG Now. Top 5%. Not a bad spot to be in. I put out stuff when I feel like it. It's a pretty good position to be in. And for Pathfinder guys, I'm probably still in the top percentage. But here's the funny part about me. Here's something that separates me from probably about 90% of the people. I've never written for any major company ever. I haven't written for Paizo. I haven't written for WotC. I've written for nobody. Nobody. Not anyone important. Not anyone. But here's the funny part. I'm still in the top 5% of guys. Now, let me just put it to you in a real easy context. Wolfgang Barr has written for tons of guys. He's a top name guy, no doubt. But he's also written, he's written for tons of guys who's got a lot of experience. There are tons of companies that have the same kind of thing. I'm like the only guy who has not written for and wanted to write for another company. I wrote for my company, and that's where I started, and that's all I've done. I've never wanted to write for someone else. When I got into this whole concept of doing RPGs, I was like, I can do it myself. How difficult could it be? I can write. And so I said, hey, let me try it out. So I started writing, and I put together products, and I kept putting stuff out. And some of the stuff was horribly written. It's horrible. Just, oh my God, what was I writing? But then I just kept, I'm trying to grab this and not mess the camera up. And the more stuff I kept working at and kept focusing on, it got better and easier. I figured it out. I figured out how you do it. What's the plan? How do you do this? And I kept going. I kept working that. And, now, years later, LPJ Design. People know that. I've worked with some of the best names in the industry. That's not me being braggadocious. That's being just blunt honest. There's a lot of guys who started at LPJ Design who've worked for me, who've gone on to work at Paizo, who've gone on to work at, WotC at the time, but, who've gone on to work for a much larger company than mine. And this is for you guys out there who are like, oh, I want to get in this business, but I'm not a good writer. I'm like, dude, I suck at writing. I'm the worst writer you'll ever meet. And I mean, let me tell you how bad of a writer I am. I besides the misspelling, I did a product on dogs. Now, this is a long-running joke. I did a PDF on dogs, and that's like one of my favorite PDFs, because I wrote a lot of that, but some friends helped me with that one too. But it's like, dude, it's a PDF on dogs. Who'd want a PDF on dogs? Well, someone does, because that thing has been selling for at least 7 years, and it still sells today. It still sells. People still buy it. And you don't have to be the best writer in the world. There's so many people in this egomaniac of, oh, you must be a fantastic writer. No, you don't. You have to have some good ideas. That's 90%. Have good ideas. And here's the kicker. This is what you need to have. Good ideas. Know someone who's a good writer. Know someone who's a good editor. That's it. I toss tons of ideas to the guys I work with. They know that I'm a horrible writer. They know what to expect from me. But my God, my ideas are going to be the stuff that make them go, oh, I gotta write that. That sounds awesome, Port. That's what I want to write. That's what I want to do. I want to be the guy exciting people to work with me and work for me about the projects I have. It always upsets me a lot as a publisher and even a writer that so many people are so afraid of living out their dreams of doing cool stuff because, oh, I'm not a good writer. So what? You don't have to be a good writer. What you have to be is a good follow-through guy. There's tons of guys out there who are always going to be better than you. I don't worry about those guys. There are going to be tons of better businessmen who write better than me. I don't worry about them. I worry about myself. I worry about what can I do for myself to make sure I put out the best product that people are happy with. Instead of focusing, because most people tell you, well, if you want to be a good writer, you got to focus your skills on that. I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound horrible, but it's true. If you suck at writing, and you're going to spend all that time focusing on trying to be a good writer, well, that's good. That's a passion. But maybe you go from like 20% to 40%. You've doubled your skill. Ooh, that's down. Okay, that's nice. But you're still at 40%. Take that and focus on something that makes you that you can do just as strong. Look, I'm not a good writer, but I'm smart enough to hire guys who are better writers than me. That's the first thing I do. Number two, take your ego out of it. So many people get involved in this thing because they want their name on a book. I'm like, I don't care about having my name on a book. I care about putting out great product. That's the kicker. I want to put out great product. I don't care about name on a book. That's like such a waste of time. Oh, I got my name on a book. Who cares? Especially in this day and age, anybody can write a book. Anybody can write a book. But can someone make something that's cool that people want to read and give you money each time? That's the kicker. That's where the real power is. That's what I want to do. I want to find out those people. That's the stuff that interests me. So don't worry about being a horrible writer. All you need to do is be able to find a good editor, and there's tons of them out there who are looking for work. And if you want to take it by yourself, just take you and your good editor and let the editor teach you how to get your skills a little bit better. But if you're someone like me, like I said, I knew my limitations. I said, look, I'm going to have people who are better than me do the work. It does. I don't care. I don't care whose name's on the product. I care that people like the product. Uh-oh, here he comes. I care that people like the product that came out and they feel very valuable. Who is that? Oh, he ran away. So that's the important thing. That's the real moneymaker. If you can't be a good writer and you're worried about that and you want to start a company, don't worry about that. First thing you do, you go through. Look, okay, here's a trick, and this is the trick, but it's not a trick, but it's a trick. If you want, my hands get tired. If you want to be a publisher and you want to do this business seriously, first thing you do, look through books that you like. Look for people that you like who've written stuff. Go up to them and tell them, hey, I'm starting a new company. It's very, very small. We're going to do very, very small stuff to start because I always told you, 2,000 word projects, put them out on a weekly basis. You can take over the world. Legendary Games has done that. They just recently put out their last of their weekly ones. I know they're doing for a while. This is also going to be hectic and really tough to do. But they did theirs. That's what you do. Lucas, why you keep opening up the door? Okay. I'm filming something. So, you got that going on. So just do small products. Don't try to, so many people get on this thing and they're like, oh, I want to do a campaign setting. Look, I admit, my first major product was a campaign setting. Looking back, that was a dumb thing to do. I didn't realize how stupid it was. Start small. Start small and grow. Start small and grow. Too many people are like, I got this great thing I'm going to do, and all this stuff, and this, and most people don't. They've never written anything, and they don't know graphic design. They don't even know what they're getting themselves into. I at least have the common sense of having, at that point, it's like 10 years of graphic design experience underneath my belt, and I was working for a publishing house, so I knew how to publish books, so I knew that background. Some people don't even do that; they just go out there and just try it. So I mean, this whole thing is really just coming down to the whole concept of, I want you to understand that you don't have to be the world's greatest writer to be a great writer. You don't have to be the world's greatest writer. You just got to put some stuff out. Put it out there. Get a good editor. Chuck Dixon, who's written, oh good lord, he wrote for DC Comics during the heyday in the 90s. Responsible creating Bane, was writing four different comics a month. Most guys can barely get one or two out. He's writing 4 of them. One of them was Batman, the other one was Detective. 2 top seller comic books. That guy's writing 4 of them a month. So, it's like, he's like, I'm not a good writer. He said, I'm not good. He goes, I got a good editor. That's what makes me a good writer. Having a good editor. So, there you go. Get a good editor, or in my case, if hey, writing isn't something I want to do, hire guys who want to write. There are tons of guys out there who want to write. Tons of guys want a first-time attempt, and there's some guys who are pros who do it. And you know what? You can get them from all different kinds of rates. I think people get so tied up in this, how much money should we pay them? Pay them what you can afford. If you can afford 2 cents, you pay out the 2 cents. You afford 12 cents, you pay out that. But pay what you can actually afford. Pay what you can afford to pay. There's no need for you to go, under because you paid some guy that you really couldn't afford to pay, and now your company is flopped. It's like, I never understand that. People are like, oh no, you've got to pay him this much. No, you pay him what you can reasonably afford. If you can pay more, you pay him more. If you can't pay him more, you try to give them enough small jobs that it actually makes it worth their while to do stuff. Or you give them a lot of leeway. I do. Anybody works for me, I tell you the general plot, go to it. Knock yourself out. Artist, hey, here's the image I'm using as the idea and the concept. Go to it. Knock out. And they go do it. They always return me stuff that's more awesome. I'm shooting a video. You want to come over here? Come over here. Here, you don't want anybody to see you? No. Okay, well, take off then. All right. So, well, I'm talking here. You got to wait. So that's what you got to do. I mean, you do it. Don't sit there and tell yourself, oh, you can't do it. You're not. Shut up. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to people when they put negative things on you. Okay? Here's a little Lewis Porter lesson. I only listen to people who have to live with the consequences of whatever decision we're talking about. People always give you opinions of, oh, you should do this, do that, but they ain't got to live with those consequences. You do. So you only listen to people who are going to be directly affected by the consequences and the choices you make. That's it. That's the important thing. If someone tells you you can't do it, you tell them, shut up. You could do it. Anybody can publish a game. It ain't rocket science. We're not splitting atoms. We're making games. It's supposed to be fun. Shut up. And if someone tells you you've written something horrible, you know what you tell them? Shut up. So what? The next one's going to be great. You don't even know it yet. You just, that's focus on what you do well. Once you do that, you're going to run everything. That's how it should be. All right, I'm going to finish this up. I got to put this online. It's one of those rainy Florida days, so it's got me this whole attitude of, writing and what's good and what's not. Just tell me, just one of those days. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I surely did. I'll be back in my office doing some work, but right now I'm just chilling and relaxing. I'll talk to you all later.